Monopoly Money, the State as a Price Setter by Pavlina Tcherneva. Case 2. Supplementary Assumptions. Number 1. HNFA equals 0. 2. T equals $10. This case removes supplementary assumptions 4 and 5 from Case 1, allowing labor hours and wages to be divisible. That is, labor can work less than full-time for a given tax period, and the smallest unit of account is no longer $1. The inverse relationship between the price the government pays for labor and the amount it receives from the private sector continues and is now represented by a function instead of discrete points. P sub L equals T divided by Q sub L. P sub L min equals $1 minimum wage. Figure 2 demonstrates the following. Number 1. With HNFA equals 0, there is only one unique curve. 2. Since Q sub Lm equals 10, defines the limit of the capacity of the economy, it also defines the minimum wage, P sub L minimum, the government can offer. In Case 2, this wage is denoted by point A. The curve is asymptotic to the y-axis. It never crosses it because the existence of any tax means that some labor will always be attracted. Case 2A. Supplementary Assumptions. Number 1. HNFA equals 0. 2. T equals $10. 3. The government chooses to set the price of labor. P sub L is exogenously determined. This case will be described by the same continuous graph as in Figure 2. The graph demonstrates that at any given P sub L, the government knows the amount of Q sub L it will receive. P sub L does not change via market forces. Case 2B. Supplementary Assumptions. Number 1. HNFA equals 0. 2. T equals $10. The government forfeits its option to set P sub L by choosing to pay a market price for labor. P sub L is market determined. This case, where G equals T equals the product of P sub L and Q sub L, is described by Figure 3. Without the government setting P sub L, as in Case 2A, this model shows that the possible outcomes for the time period include all points on the line. In Figure 3, the market price of labor will not fall below $1, because then there will be no solutions for P sub L times Q sub L equals T. The market price also can never exceed $10 because the government is spending $10 only, since the desired to net save is 0 in this case. In order to fulfill its tax obligation, the private sector will have to sell only one unit of labor. Therefore, in this case, the market price of labor has boundaries. G divided by Q sub L min is greater than P sub L, which is greater than G divided by Q sub L max, or 10 divided by 1 is greater than P sub L greater than 10 divided by 10, or $10 is greater than P sub L greater than $1. In Case 2A, the government sets the price of labor, making it an exogenous variable. In Case 2B, the government pays a market-determined endogenous price of labor, and thus it does not know the price it will pay and the corresponding number of firefighters it will receive. By allowing the taxpayer to set prices, the government also gives him the power to determine quantity. This could pose an interesting dilemma. For example, An organized labor pool could see to it that P sub L would be 10 at all times, and that any tax increase would be answered with a corresponding price increase. Therefore, any attempt by the government to get more than the minimum Q sub L would fail. Please note that it is the government's exogenous choice whether to implement policy 2A or 2B. Note that case 2A is the African example, and case 2B illustrates the current practice in most of the world.